Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to the COMPUTEX Forum 2023. COMPUTEX Forum, which has been held for the past 13 years, leading companies and industrial leaders have generously shared their ideas, visions, and passion on this stage. This year's forum will be divided into 3 sessions, which are Metaverse, Chips and Semiconductor, and Sustainability. There will be 16 outstanding speakers from the industry to deliver their mindset. Without further ado, please welcome the CEO of Tetra, Mr. Simon Wang, to give the opening remark. Welcome, Mr. Wang.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to COMPUTEX Forum 2023. COMPUTEX Forum has established itself as a premier platform for the world's leading technology companies, innovators, and industry professionals to come together and shape the future of our digital landscape. Year after year, COMPUTEX Forum provides us with an opportunity to reflect upon the profound impact that technology has on our society. It is here that we witness the unveiling of cutting-edge products, hear visionary keynotes, engage in thought-provoking panel discussion, and foster invaluable connections and drive innovation forward. As we are gathering here today at COMPUTEX Forum, we are stepping into the realm of the Metaverse, a virtual universe of digital interconnectedness and endless possibilities. Just like a vast galaxy, the Metaverse holds within itself infinite potential for expansion, growth, and creativity. It is an intriguing concept, one that challenges us to reimagine the way we interact with technology and the world around us. And as we explore the Metaverse, the role of chips and semiconductors cannot be ignored. These tiny little yet mighty components are the building blocks of the digital world, providing the power and agility to bring our crazy imaginations to life. And chips and semiconductors are the very engines that drive technological breakthroughs and enable us to explore the boundaries of what is possible. Yet, as we embrace this exciting new frontier, we must not forget our responsibility towards sustainability. Just as the roots of a tree anchor it to the earth, we need to ensure that our technological advancements are grounded in the ethical and sustainable practices. As stewards of the digital world, we must nurture and preserve our planet and resources for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up my short introductions of the 3 themes in COMPUTEX Forum. They are Metaverse, chips and semiconductors, and sustainability. Without further ado, let's start navigating our journey right away. Fasten your seatbelt. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wang, for the warm welcome. Please return back to your seats. Today, we are very honored to have Mr. Greg Estes, VP of Corporate Marketing and Developer Programs of NVIDIA. Mr. Estes will focus on racing towards the industrial metaverse. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Estes.
Thank you. We're so glad to be here at COMPUTEX. NVIDIA, our CEO, Jensen Huang, did a keynote yesterday. I hope you were able to see it. And Simon, thank you for inviting me as well. COMPUTEX is very important to NVIDIA. The semiconductor industry, the industry of OEMs and ODMs manufacturing at the leading edge of what's possible in computer science, and building really the world's ecosystem of computers. It is very important to us, and we're very humbly grateful to be invited to speak here today. I want to talk about the digitalization of multiple different industries. And as you can see here, and as you'll hear about all day today, this idea of being able to take data from multiple sources and be able to interact with it in real time, collaborate across geographies, collaborate across teams, to be able to tie different complex, disparate systems together is a very, very powerful one. Imagine that you had complete control to be able to simulate new possibilities. It could be new types of products, it could be new supply chains, it could be new methods of logistics and management systems, it could be ways that humans and robots interact together. Many, many new possibilities across multiple trillion-dollar industries. So this is a very, very important subject at a very, very important time, particularly as artificial intelligence is making its way from something that has been able to just recognize objects to something that is able to create objects. Generative AI, a brand new force, and we'll talk about that as we go. In different industries, this manifests itself in different ways. One of the things that you see, for instance, in the automotive industry, they're having to do very complex manufacturing processes, but even before they get there, they have the design process. They're creating new visions of what a car or a truck or other kinds of automobiles and autonomous vehicles might look like, but they're also changing the types of vehicles they're building with electric vehicles and new things that affect their supply chain and new things that affect the way that their factories need to operate. That's also true in semiconductors, of course, one of the most complex areas you can possibly imagine. Just think about all of the complexities that go into manufacturing very, very, as Simon said, tiny but very powerful instruments that are important to many, many other businesses. Understanding what are the power requirements, what kind of yield are you going to get, et cetera. And you look across other areas such as healthcare, where they're looking at some of the most complex systems you can imagine, a human cell, which is also a factory in a way, right? So you look across all of these things in retail, for instance, they're having to understand things such as weather patterns in addition to supply chain management. Telecommunications companies are having to understand not only where 5G beams are best effectively formed, but are there more people living in a downtown area during the workday and they all go home at night? So you have completely different usage patterns from one time of day to the other. All of these things come together and have to be planned. So what goes into that? Well, the first thing that you see is a whole number of systems. As you see up here, the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence as a whole, 3D, the ability to interact with objects in correct dimensions, and of course being able to view that in virtual reality or augmented reality if you want to, but certainly not because you have to. Some people have a view of the metaverse that is bringing you into a world that is fully immersive, and it certainly can be that, but it doesn't have to be that. And then robotics. Robotics is the most difficult computer problem to solve in terms of artificial intelligence. Because if you think about it, people think sometimes about self-driving cars being one of the harder problems in AI, to be able to navigate through streets, to be able to move around things and not hit things and merge into complex traffic. But in self-driving cars, you're largely trying just not to hit something. But think about robots. In robots, you're often interacting with something. You're trying to touch something. You have to pick it up. It's that much more of a complex issue. So different technologies need to go into all of these systems in order to make this work. And it all has to be digital. You would want it to be digitalized. You would want that information to come from multiple system types and to be able to be tied together in a very specific way. And when you do this, you can think about it at different levels of scale, certainly. At the product scale, it could be something like designing a car, like I said earlier, or a cell phone, or any one of a number of objects. It could be a perfume bottle. When you move up from that, you get into the manufacturing level. And now you've got multiple systems working together. But if you think about it, you go even farther in the scale and you get to the city level. And now here's a very important thing to think about. At the city level, you no longer have complete control over all of the elements within your overall planning cycle, because things move, people move, weather changes. And now imagine you take that out to a national level. Or even as you're trying to study science and earth science, you get to a planetary level or even a galactic level. Earth science, of course, the thing that they say sometimes, you step on a butterfly in Brazil and it starts raining in Norway. Those elements are largely true when you think about it. There's this enormous set of complex interactions that need to happen, that you need to be able to have vast supercomputing capability. Accelerated computing at the largest scales of the largest supercomputers in the world to be able to do the simulation of this earth science. When you can do that, it leads to being able to understand our climate better, and which leads to sustainability. So you can see that in this range that goes all the way from building simple products all the way up to understanding our largest challenges at a global or planetary scale, this is applicable. What this is going to require is a set of new technologies. Things need to change a bit, and certainly you will hear about in this forum different companies along with ours that are making these changes and making it so that we're enabling these new types of workflows and new types of products. The first one is data interoperability. No matter how you're working in what kinds of field, again, from healthcare to different types of manufacturing or sciences, you're largely working with a different set of tools. You're working with different software applications. Some of them may be homegrown, and they all have different data types. Having different data types means it's hard to be able to correlate data, and you need standards that are going to help you to be able to merge this together so that they could be visualized and simulated in the right way. The second thing is that you have this massive amount of data coming in from sensors everywhere, different types of manufacturing equipment, different types of processes that are coming in, and all of that needs to be computed. It requires vast amounts of compute, not just at the big supercomputer level, but at the small IoT level, in the smallest robots, or in sensors that are as small as something that is perhaps on your wrist, right? So all of these different parts, to be able to do it at very large scale in the cloud, down to the smallest scale on the factory floor, to be able to do it on premises, to be able to do it in computing systems, on a laptop. It's important to be able to have these computing systems tied together in a way so that you can work on this data in the way that is appropriate for the different workflow that you have. And then you need to have the people who are well trained and understand this. Jobs are going to change. New skills are required. New skills are required in the virtual world as well as in the physical world, because after all, robots need to learn our world. And they can do that in simulation just as effectively, or actually more effectively, than what can be done in the real world. Because if I can train a robot in simulation to try to pick up an object and place it properly somewhere, I can do it 1,000 times in simulation, where I would only be able to do it perhaps once in that time. Or I can train a self-driving car to be able to drive through a very snowy area, even if where I'm doing the testing is in a very hot place where it never snows, because I can do all of this in simulation. Once the robot understands this, that you can then take that knowledge and transfer it into the physical world. And then you have people who need to be able to interact with that and understand these new skills. And one of the new skills that you're going to want to have your teams understand, and we need to have training on, includes generative AI. Why is that important in a manufacturing context? Well, because there aren't enough trained 3D artists in the world to make all of the objects that you would want to have to be able to simulate everything in your factory. Imagine that you were a company like BMW and building a giant factory, and you wanted to make the entire factory work physically accurate, perfectly accurate, down to every bolt and nut and part. You would have to create all of those objects in order to populate the factory in there. And so if you can have AI assist you in that creation and speed the process, then it is a huge time saver and therefore makes you more productive and therefore more profitable. So NVIDIA in this environment has created Omniverse. Omniverse is different maybe than what some other companies have done in their work for the metaverse, because the grounding principle for us here is that it must be physically accurate to be applicable for the industrial metaverse. Why? Because light must interact the way light really works in the real world. Gravity must work, and physics must work the way they do in the real world. Otherwise, something might look good, but not be correct. And in this new world that we have, where you're designing products and processes, it is very important that we have a platform that allows multiple companies, an entire software ecosystem that we have, to be able to bring their tools and to be able to visualize this data in an environment that is physically accurate. And the way that we do that is we have a series of different software modules inside of Omniverse that allow you to create worlds, to be able to do things that are important to developers, like to be able to understand the different processes that are going on that would make something work quickly or not, to be able to design rendering and use ray tracing, to be able to use that to design products and to be able to see how light is interacting for a variety of reasons. Special simulations for autonomous vehicles that we call Drive Sim, that has a set of modules that allow you to understand the path planning and how, if cars need to be able to understand their echolocation, where they are in space, how they are around other cars and other vehicles that are happening, understanding things like that's a stoplight and a crosswalk. All of these are different neural networks, and we have this environment, again, in a physically accurate environment like Omniverse that allows you to build these capabilities and use these tools to create your own systems. And we take that same idea into robotics, and that's what we call Isaac Sim, because again, autonomous vehicles and robots are very similar in the way that they need to be able to perceive and react to the physical world. Things change in the physical world, and you want to be able to train robotic systems so that they know how to interact with these systems that could be let's say you had a factory and maybe somebody left a forklift in the middle of a path that the robot wanted to take. You have to train them ahead of time so that the robot knows what to do. Or it could be a worker that is working in there and they're walking across and around. Things change very rapidly in a factory or a warehouse or any kind of manufacturing environment, and you need to be able to train the systems to handle these changes as they happen. And so we built an environment that helps you do that. One of the ways that you could get to do that, by the way, is you have to have a neural network that has seen lots of different types of scenarios. Or in a manufacturing environment, it could even be different types of parts where you're looking to do visual inspection of those parts. Because remember, AI requires a lot of data to be able to then create a network that it can use to perceive what's going to happen. Then we want to ground that in the physical world through Omniverse by doing that. So we have AI capabilities, and then you have these visualization capabilities through the metaverse. And one way that we can create all of this is to create synthetic data, create lots of data that the AI can be trained on, and that's what we call Replicator. And then finally, as you see there, we want to be able to publish this out to the world, and the environment that we talked about earlier, where everything has to have common formats, is USD, a universal scene description. This is the common format invented by Pixar and supported by NVIDIA and many other companies that allows all of this different type of data to be able to come into one place and be visualized at one time. When you do this, you can create a chain that goes all the way from the initial design through the manufacturing planning all the way to advertising, and I'm going to show you an example of that in a moment. But this can be recursive as well. Imagine that you were building a product and all of a sudden you knew that through your advertising, that responses to that advertising were taking off enormously in Brazil. Well, but not taking off other places. You might want to be able to have that affect your supply chain, to know that you had to have more of this kind of product in Brazil because the advertising was showing data that it was going to take off, right? So this can be a complete circuit chain. What I'd like to do is to show you an example of how this works with, in this case, we have a number of partners, Foxconn, Innodesk, Quanta, Pegatron, and Wistron, that we did a press release with yesterday. So that the giants of manufacturing, largely here and based in Taiwan, have all been looking at how these systems can work and improve them. And I'd like to show you an example from Pegatron.
The $45 trillion global manufacturing industry is comprised of 10 million factories operating 24/7. Enterprises are racing to become software-defined to ensure they can produce high-quality products as quickly and cost-efficiently as possible. Let's see how electronics manufacturer Pegatron uses NVIDIA AI and Omniverse to digitalize their factories. In Omniverse, they start by building a digital twin of their factory, unifying disparate 3D and CAD datasets to provide a real-time view of their complex factory data to their planners and suppliers. In the cloud-native digital twin, planners can then optimize layout virtually before deploying changes to the real factory. The digital twin is also used as a training ground and data factory for Pegatron's perception AIs. They use NVIDIA Isaac Sim, built on Omniverse, to simulate and optimize their fleet of mobile robots, which help move materials throughout the facility, as well as the pick-and-place robotic arms that assist on production lines. In the fully operational factory, Pegatron deploys automated optical inspection, or AOI points, along their production lines, which reduces cost and increases line throughput. NVIDIA Metropolis enables Pegatron to quickly develop and deploy cloud-native, highly accurate AOI workflows across their production lines. Omniverse Replicator generates synthetic datasets of PCBA defects, which are too complex and costly to capture in the real world, like scratches and missing or misaligned components. Pegatron then combines the synthetic data with NVIDIA pre-trained models, NVIDIA Tau for training, adaptation, and optimization, and NVIDIA DeepStream for real-time inference, resulting in AOI performance that is 99.8% accurate with a 4 times improvement in throughput. With software-defined factories built on NVIDIA AI and Omniverse, manufacturers can super accelerate factory bring-up and minimize change orders, continuously optimize operations, maximize production line throughput, all while reducing costs.
My favorite part of that video is those ghost people walking around. They all like to wear hats. It's a great simulation. But that human interaction is a huge part of the planning process as well, particularly as if you have moving parts around. But I want to show you a very, very different example here. We did a press release yesterday and made an announcement with the world's largest advertising company, WPP. And they are doing something very powerful. What they're doing is they're taking real CAD data, bringing in an exact, in this case, automotive model, but it could be anything. You take the real perfect CAD data into an environment, and then you use generative AI to create new environments that go around it, right? Check this out.
The world's industries are racing to realize the benefits of AI. NVIDIA and WPP are building a groundbreaking, generative AI-enabled content engine to enable the next evolution of the $700 billion digital advertising industry. Built on NVIDIA AI and Omniverse, this engine gives brands the ability to build and deploy highly personalized and compelling visual content faster and more efficiently than ever before. The process starts by building a physically accurate digital twin of a product using Omniverse Cloud, which connects product design data from industry standard tools. Then, WPP artists create customized and diverse virtual sets using a combination of digitized environments and generative AI tools by organizations such as Getty Images and Adobe, trained on fully licensed data using NVIDIA Picasso. This unique combination of technologies allows WPP to build accurate photorealistic visual content and e-commerce experiences that bring new levels of realism and scale to the industry.
All of this is accomplished by tying Omniverse, which is a platform, not an application itself. It is a platform for other applications. That's a really important thing to understand. This is a developer platform for NVIDIA, and we work with partners from all around the world in all different industries and all different parts of the chain to be able to create this vast ecosystem of software that can all interconnect together. So when you have teams that are using different applications in different parts around the world, in different workflows that you have, they can all be brought into and connected in to the metaverse, the industrial metaverse, grounded on real-world physics, taking advantage of artificial intelligence with this vast array, a very fast, quickly growing array of partners who are working with us on that. And when they do that, they're able to connect in their applications into the Omniverse system, so that they can take advantage of the different types of capabilities that we have here, or they can bring in their own applications. They can use any part of this that they want. They don't have to use everything, and we have all of this array of modules to be able to take advantage of ray tracing and real-world physics and the different types of planning that we talked about, visualizing all of this data from all of these different real-world systems and bring it in and do it at one time. But not everybody wants to create everything themselves, and so some of the partners that you see here are making very lightweight, simple applications that will allow you to start to create new things with people who are not experts, who are not trained, because you have to have people across your whole organization be able to adopt this. And one of the most important things that you want to do is to be able to use the tools that they're already using and not have to retrain them if possible. And this is a great example of where our partnership with Siemens, who's going to be speaking next, comes into play, because they have this entire suite, as you see here, with Accelerator and a variety of products from manufacturing to PLM, to be able to do scientific applications, to be able to do manufacturing applications, to be able to look at the data, to be able to harmonize the data, to be able to have different parts of your workflow work together, all to create a digital twin. This digital twin that interacts in the virtual world the same way that it would act in the real world. And that's super important, because what that allows you to do is to make planning decisions based around facts and data, but to be able to simulate it in ways that you never could if you didn't have a digitalized system, if your data wasn't digital. Once it's digital, you can then bring it into this environment and use tools like Accelerator in the suite in Accelerator to be able to bring this all together. And you'll hear more about that later. Here's an example of how generative AI can make things much easier in a workflow. Here you have an idea of just taking a 2D floor plan that you can take from PowerPoint, and then there's apps in Omniverse that can allow you to take that 2D into 3D. You could then bring it in and create this whole factory environment, as you see, and populate the scene, but maybe you need to go get other 3D objects and be able to have a catalog of them to populate that world with different types of 3D objects, and so you can get different variants of that, because otherwise you would have to plan every little thing in that virtual factory. But then you can bring it together in this environment, and you could add lighting. Why is lighting important? Well, lighting is very important, because if you're going to have humans in there, And even if you're going to have robots that have sensor systems in there, you need to understand what the lighting situation is going to be. Where are shadows cast? Do people have enough light to work? Do people have too much light if you were doing factory planning? When NVIDIA was planning our new campus, we had many, many more skylights than we ended up with. And because when we did the simulation, we realized that not only were we letting a lot of light in, we were letting a lot of heat in, and it would require additional cooling. And so we were able to lower the number of skylights that we had and match an amount that made sense for people working, but had less of a power requirement. And that kind of simulation is very powerful. And then you can put it around in a skybox, in other words, to say this external view to know what is outside when they see it, because sometimes that view is important to you as well. So when you put all of this together, we have some of the world's best and most powerful companies taking advantage of this. Amazon in their robotics factory, BMW, as I mentioned earlier. Deutsche Bahn is a good example where you'll see in a video I'm going to play in a moment, they're using synthetic data creation and to be able to do simulations of things perhaps interacting with train tracks that they wouldn't be able to do easily in the real world. Ericsson modeling citywide scapes of where beamforming needs to happen for 5G and for 6G capabilities. KPF in architecture and engineering and construction, what they're doing is they're looking at data such as the fluid dynamics of how wind goes around buildings. And they've got teams that are all around the world that need to work together. So I'm going to leave you with great examples in this video, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, I will leave you with one last thought. That is, this is the most important intersection of technology that we will see in this generation. Artificial intelligence, which started off being able to just recognize things, to now be able to create things. And when you combine that with an environment that will allow objects to interact with correct physics, the way the real world does, you now have an opportunity to simulate the real world in a way you never could before. And that allows you to make dramatic changes in productivity and to go after new marketplaces for the world's trillion-dollar industries. I hope that you've learned a little bit today, and I thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Mr. Estes, for the inspiring speech. Please return back to your seats. Next, we are honored to invite Mr. Erdo Elver, President and CEO of Siemens Taiwan, to deliver more about accelerating digital and net zero transformations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Elver.
Good afternoon. Warmly welcome to my session. And thank you, Simon and Greg. Great opening, great speech, and also prepared a wonderful ground for my speech in the following 30 minutes. Digital and net zero transformations are already happening. But considering the devastating damages of global warming on our economy and planet, we have to admit that we are not fast and efficient enough. That is why we say we have to accelerate. We have to work harder to accelerate those transformations. At Siemens, the leading German technology company, we are providing digital solutions to our customers to help them to run those transformations. Our open business platform, Siemens Accelerator, which was briefly introduced shortly by Greg. Siemens Accelerator is an open business platform which helps assist our customers to drive their digital transformations, of course linked with their goals to become carbon neutral, respectively net zero. In Siemens Accelerator, we have two major concepts which helps us to link the real worlds with digital worlds, digital twins, which again opens up for another exciting technology called industrial metaverse, which has been also nicely introduced by Greg. Those technologies have the potential to help to reduce CO2 emissions, to help to accelerate digital transformations and net zero transformations. In my speech, I will give more insights about Siemens Accelerator and also talk about the role of industrial metaverse. So let's get started. Why we do all this? Greg has nicely also introduced. Well, today we are challenged through different, big mega trends. Strained supply chains, geopolitical tensions, uncertainties, skilled labor shortage, and climate change are posing, challenges to us and also pushing us to reduce the CO2 emissions, at the same time also reducing the consumption of natural resources. At the same time, we would like to continue our economic growth and also provide a good quality of life in ever-growing cities. Luckily, there is another mega trend which helps to meet those challenges, which is digitalization. Now, with digital twin, IoT, AI technologies, digitalization provides the key building blocks for another technology that is industrial metaverse. So in the following, I will share with you the potentials of those technologies, respective of what we can do with all of them. Now let's talk first about metaverse. Metaverse refers to a virtual space where users can interact with computer-generated environment and with each other in real time. So it opens up new areas where we can work together, cooperate with each other, and solve real-life problems. Now, if we talk about metaverse, there are three different sectors where metaverse plays an important role. Let's start with the one at the bottom, as you see on my slide. The consumer metaverse refers, in fact, to a digital world with immersive spaces for shopping, gaming, and socializing. The enterprise metaverse refers to technologies enabling, immersive business collaboration, including productivity tools and virtual workplaces. Industrial metaverse is of course, representing the industrial applications where simulated machines, factories, buildings, networks, which can be represented, designed, simulated, and built in a much, much, much more efficient way. And also according to the market analysis you see on the right side of my slides, despite the consumer metaverse gets the most attention, the industrial metaverse has the bigger potential to grow in the coming years. You see the numbers from ABI saying around $100 billion US dollars in 2030. Okay, so industrial metaverse is providing us the tools which can help us to run the industrial operations from design of products, design of productions, and also into the operations. So it gives us the tools, it gives the tools to the engineers to cooperate in a virtual world to design their products, design the production, test even in a virtual world, and with this, of course, save time, resources, and also with this, of course, reduce energy consumptions and many more. So that is, in fact, why we are talking about industrial metaverse. And there are, of course, a lot of technologies which are now enabling this technology industrial metaverse. You see on my slides, starting with digital twin, IoT, AI technologies, machine learning, blockchain, and of course, VR, AR. I have to highlight again, digital twins are in fact one of the key enablers for industrial metaverse. Industrial metaverse will change the way we are working together, cooperating together. You see on the slide 4 areas. It will, again, accelerate the usage of digital tools in where we are linking virtual worlds with the real worlds. I will later on give you a bit more insights on this. And it will also enable new ways of collaborating between engineers. They might be sitting in different places, but again, cooperate with the tools to design the products, communicate, cooperate with each other, and also it opens up a new way of partner ecosystem, how we call it. And of course, with this, we will be able to optimize our products in their design, optimize the production in the design of the production system. And with this, again, industrial metaverse will be one of the game changer in driving net zero transformation, respectively driving sustainability. So those are the 2 areas I will dig in the following and share with you a bit more insights. So again, the topic is we have to work harder, accelerate net zero and digital transformations. And those priorities are in fact interconnected priorities for nations, companies, enterprises, and that is something which I like to now emphasize. And well, digital transformations can be hard. It can be difficult to integrate existing systems. It can be difficult to move beyond a pilot project. It can be difficult, again, to integrate into existing digital systems. And that is also why we at Siemens ask ourselves, what can we do, again, to assist our customers in their digital transformations, in their goals to become more sustainable? And that what if our products are all IoT enabled and you just need to plug and play? What if our products and offering solutions are open and interoperable, that you don't need to stick to one supplier's products? And what if allows a proper platform which can help you to cooperate with your partners? So that is why we have introduced Siemens Accelerator. It is an open business platform, again, to assist our customers in their digital, respectively, net zero transformations. Once again, those transformations are interlinked. And that is what we are emphasizing. Again, we have to accelerate those transformations, and that is why we are now providing a platform which should help our customers to accelerate their own transformations in digital area, respectively, in achieving their net zero goals. I will, in the following, explain a bit more about Accelerate. This is a complex platform, and first I'd like to introduce. It is a platform which provides tools, design tools to the engineers to design their products and production. In this slide, you see an old model, by the way. You take pictures, I see. That is an old model, how we did in the past. You design first, then maybe simulated, then did some engineering and commissioning and name it. And those steps have been not linked with each other. And if you needed to go back, you might not be, consistent, because those steps have been not linked with each other properly. And now, in the age of digitalization and automation, we are providing tools where those steps can be interlinked, and that is now, in fact, the way how we are designing products. I can design, go into simulation, and if I see mistakes, I can go back and optimize my design, or go design my production, simulate it, and I can see the energy consumption through the simulation. I can go back and optimize. So that is what we are providing to our customers in the area of design of any kind of products, be it cars or whatever you do, and also in the production. That is, by the way, is also called horizontal integration. Now, after having the design of products and production, and you have produced, you need to link the products which are in operation with the system which they are managing, and that is what we call vertical integration. Again, I have my products, real products, my field devices, be it trains, motors, buildings, and I have the controllers, they're managing them, then I have the interface to the cloud, and at the end I have the cloud. So we are providing the tools which can help you to upload the data of your products into the clouds, and you can use the data in the cloud using algorithms or whatever you need to maintain, to manage the application. So that is what we also call linking virtual world with the real world. And that is the power of Siemens Accelerator, combining the real world with the digital worlds and helping with this to optimize the products, production, and you name it. I have later on a slide. I will dig into this and explain a bit more. So that is Siemens Accelerator. This is the open business platform to help, again, our customers to make their digital transformation easier, faster, and at scale. It has three major components I will dig into in the following. The one is, once again, a comprehensive created portfolio. Our digital and IoT-enabled offerings, be it hardware, respectively software, can be from Siemens, but also can be from our partners, certified partners. Now, talking about partners, and as I have mentioned, we need also a powerful platform which can help our partners to work with us together to provide solutions to our customers. So that is the next key element. I will come to this, also share with you a couple of examples. Last but not least, we need a marketplace to explore, educate, learn, and buy and configure products for our own needs. So that is the marketplace. And how we do all this, as I have mentioned, we said it must be interoperable, flexible, open, and we are providing it as a service, most of the software as a service, and that must be also cyber secure. So that is Siemens Accelerator, the open business platform, which help and assist our customers to drive their digital and net zero transformations. I'd like to share with you a bit some examples to get it into the portfolio, especially the topic net zero transformation through digital trends. This was also nicely mentioned by Greg in a couple of examples. Digital twins we are using for design of products, design of production, but also for optimizing the performance of the products, okay? Those are three key areas. I have a slide where I will explain a bit more insights. And during the design of a product, I can optimize its CO2 emissions by simulating its performance and optimizing, of course, its function. Same valid also for the production. I can also optimize the material consumption, respectively resource consumption. And those are, in fact, the areas where I can save up to 40%, again, carbon emissions, respectively energy, and also material saving. You see also on my slide in the middle the three key areas, and also see the key points which I have just mentioned, saving energy, respectively, lowering CO2 emissions. And with this, we can save up to 7.5 gigatons CO2 emissions over the next 10 years, which has been, I think, announced by an Accenture study recently. The next slide will dig a bit more insights, but that will be the next, or maybe my final complex slides. I like to just emphasize again the digital twin and its role in building industrial metaverse. As said, digital twins are the foundation and in fact key concept for building industrial metaverse. As you see on the slide, I can use my tools and build a digital twin of the product I am designing. It can be a car, it can be whatever, any product you need to design. So that is what we call virtual product. After having the virtual product, I can do the same with the production. And you see here also elements of industrial metaverse which can help me using industrial metaverse to design my production. And this is another important aspect where I am simulating the activities, respect the different steps in my manufacturing by building the digital twin of the production, and that is the virtual production. After having it and testing everything virtually, we go and manufacture the product using, of course, Siemens automation systems, Siemens digital automation systems, and manufacturing the product. After having the product manufactured and let it run, we can now gather the data from the real product, of course, through cloud applications, and watch its performance and optimize its performance. So that is the digital twin of the performance. So there are three digital twins which we are building, and with this optimizing our product design, respectively production design. And after having the digital performance of the product, of course, I can go back and optimize either my production or my product and make it more optimal. And you see the arrows, and that is in fact the power of Siemens Accelerator, what we are providing to our customers to build their products, respectively production, first in the virtual world and then in the real world, but also use, again, the digital tools to optimize the product and production in its whole life cycle. And of course, this all needs to be cyber secure, and that is another important element which we have to also mention in this context. So that is Siemens Accelerator. Just like to share with you a real case in Taiwan. One of our customers, you see in the picture, is the Mobile Drive, is a subsidiary of Foxconn, is using Siemens Accelerator to design their autonomous driving system, which is called Advanced Driver Assistance System, and with this optimize their product using digital twin technology, and with this, of course, optimize time to market and it's streamlined in a streamlined and efficient way. So just to share with you a real case, which you can, by the way, also find in internet if you like to know more. Now let's move into the next one, marketplace. As said, Siemens Accelerator provides a platform where you can go in, learn, elaborate, exchange, and also buy products. By the way, the QR code links you to the marketplace in internet, where you can also play around a bit. The function buy will be available later. It is something like Apple Store, respectively Google Store, but in an industrial space. And the goal is, of course, have a one-step shop to, again, learn, explore, and buy things. And with this, we are also attracting partners who can offer their products together with ours, combined with others, to our customers. So that is another important aspect where we are building a community of partners, respectively, partner ecosystem. So that is just to share with you how the marketplace will look like. Last but not least, I like to go through this next session, which is as important as the first ones. As said, we have now more than 4,000 partners, and we're also working with local partners here in Taiwan, and I'm happy to also add another name which is not on the slide. Namely, we have already signed cooperation agreement with King Steel and Orisol, and Mobile Drive, as said, working with our platform. And also it is announced, respectively, will be announced tomorrow more officially. We are also partnering with ASUS, another great Taiwan company. I'd like to share with you an example of what we do with NVIDIA AWS for one of our important customers in battery cell manufacturing. It is the Freyr, a company manufacturing battery cell for, of course, mobility and energy storage systems. And they are using Siemens Accelerator to design their, again, and manufacturing for battery cells, design their battery cells, and again, together with NVIDIA, AWS, we're providing an industrial metaverse environment to do all this in a virtual environment first before they manufacture it. With this, the aim is to reduce the development time for factories from 36 months to the half around 18 months. And this is, and then again, another important area where we're helping, assisting our customers in this area. I have a short clip here showing just what we are doing with NVIDIA. Let's watch it briefly.
Siemens and NVIDIA are partnering to advance industrial digital twins in the metaverse, opening a new era of automation for manufacturing. In this demonstration, we see how the expanded partnership will help manufacturers respond to customer demands, reduce downtime, and adapt to supply chain uncertainty while achieving sustainability and production targets. By connecting NVIDIA Omniverse and the Siemens Accelerator ecosystem end-to-end, we will expand the use of digital twin technology to bring a new level of speed and efficiency to solve design, production, and operational challenges. Siemens Accelerator offers the industry's most comprehensive digital twin and includes best-in-class software for digital manufacturing, collaboration, design, and industrial operations.
Right. So that is one example which we're happy to share. Also fits exactly after the speech of Greg from NVIDIA. Again, Siemens Accelerator paves the way for industrial metaverse, again, utilizing all the technologies, digital twin, AI, and IoT. And it helps us, again, to mirror the real world, be it buildings, be it motors, cars, manufacturing centers, and in an immersive environment where we can interact real life with other users, respectively developers, and collaborate. And once again, digital twin plays an important role in realizing this technology, industrial metaverse. Now, I have 2 slides left. What about ChatGPT? So that is another important technology. Generative AI also has been mentioned by Greg, and here I like to share with you another example, another great cooperation with another great company, Microsoft. Also, Siemens Accelerator and Microsoft, we came together and utilizing the generative AI for, driving industrial productivity in design of products, design of production, and many, many areas. And as you can see on the slide, we are deploying tools like ChatGPT, integrating into our Team Center, which is a software environment for product lifecycle management, for designing products, and also their lifecycle management. I have a short clip. Give me now another 2 minutes. And in this short clip, please watch closely. There's no tone. There are two operators and operating a robot which fails. They use ChatGPT-like interface to identify the problem and then communicate with someone somewhere else in the world. And they use, again, AI tools to correct the code, send back. The operators are in Malaysia and the engineers are somewhere else in the world. Just watch the short clip, please. Problem found. You see the Team Center interface, speaking in natural language, in their own language, by the way. And AI extracts the right information and analyzes. Problem report is done and sent, of course, to Germany. Engineers receives, analyze the problem with AI. AI helps, gets insights, and you will see the code is now corrected through using AI. And then tested, uploaded, and solution sent to Malaysia, to KL. They receive it, see the solution, upload into the robot, problem solved, and all are happy. So, just to share with you an example of what it will look like if we bring all those technologies together, again, to help to drive digital transformations and net zero transformations. If you'd like to know more about those things, welcome to go into our internet. That is a QR code, links to Siemens Industrial Metaverse link, where you can also learn, elaborate more about the solutions which we are providing. I have in fact shared with you the technologies which are helping us to solve the real life problems. Remember what I mentioned in the very beginning, why we are doing all this, because we are challenged through different mega trends, and of course digitalization and industrial metaverse are helping to tackle those challenges. And this we can do if we work all together. So let's accelerate transformation through industrial metaverse together with Siemens Accelerator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alvar, for the inspiring speech. Please return back to your seats. And now we are very honored to have Ms. Alice Zhang, Deputy CEO of Taiwan Creative Content Agency, to talk about innovations and opportunities for content industry in Metaverse. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Zhang.
Good afternoon, everyone, online and offline. I'm Alice from Taiwan Creative Content Agency, or TAICA. My experiences move from technology to content industry. It's my great honor to be here to talk about how cultural content and technology integrate at COMPUTEX. It's probably the first time the COMPUTEX invite a speaker not from technology industry. Thanks, Simon. And it's an indication that new economy system will prosper as content and technology merge. To me, it's challenging but rewarding to cross the boundary. I believe as long as we can find a common value, the collaboration between the two industries will benefit everyone. Why TAICA pay attention to Metaverse? because Metaverse needs content to generate services and economy value. My topic today is innovation and opportunity for the content industry in Metaverse. While Metaverse is not under the spotlight now, relevant infrastructure, hardware, software, content, and services continue to develop. While more people seem to focus on ChatGPT now, let's see this interesting picture. Yeah, the position is changed, all right? And AI-generated technology actually lowers the barrier to Metaverse. To cultural content industry, it's a challenge, but also a new opportunity. For AI-generated technology, I'll invite Dr. Huang Yannan from Academy Sinica to share his thoughts with us. Let's start my presentation. Since 2021, Metaverse-related industry have been booming worldwide, such as mainstream singer Travis Scott held a virtual concert on the full night with huge traffic. And also the International Fashion Week took place on Decentraland. Other examples include luxury brands, gaming, education, and also civil services. Though it is obvious that Metaverse is growing, we are still figuring out the successful business model. Today, we are suggesting a new target audience of the Metaverse industry. We call it Generation Z. They are a group of youngsters, often called it digital natives. They grew up with social media and smartphone and all kinds of technology. The important thing is that Generation Z is up in start to join the workforce. This makes them obtain the consumption power. In fact, the growing population is shaping future market scales. We must work with them as soon as possible. Now let's look at some figures. Entertainment industries continue to recover, reaching $2.9 trillion by 2022 in estimate. And it is also impressive that among these 12 categories, XR and films are top performers, growing by 41%. So after my perspective and Metaverse and market overview, I'd like to introduce TAICA. TAICA is an intermediary agency founded in 2019 as an important partner to the Ministry of Culture. We support the cultural content industry by increasing investment and innovations. TAICA's business include cover audiovisual, music, ACG, publishing, fashion, performing art, and also cultural tech. On the next page, I will introduce several cases related to Metaverse from Taiwan. First, I would like to introduce some Taiwanese original XR films. XR creators from Taiwan are widely recognized internationally. Just like your right side is the very famous one, The Man Who Couldn't Live by director Chen Xinyi, and Sensora by director Huang Xinjian, and All That Remains by Riverbed Theater. All these works are extraordinary projects that receive multiple awards and nominations in major international XR film festivals. These words elevate our influences globally on XR content. Here are some examples in the music industry. Taiwanese band Sunset Roller Coaster is 落日飞车 in Chinese, worked with Ubitus to organize the first version music festival in Taiwan. And with exclusive virtual GPU and streaming technology, 40 groups of musicians around Asia performed in the virtual world. We call it Sunset Town. Meanwhile, HTC launched the Bit Day, a music metaverse platform featuring cyberpunk art style and interactive experiences, so that their concerts are widely popular among young people. This page is about fashion. Fashion designer Jen Li worked with a technology company to create a VR game with fashion outfit, which received a lot of attention at London Fashion Show. It was also launched on Zipito in Korea. That's very, very popular in Korea's app. It's an example to phygital, which means integrating physical and digital. Here are some examples for visual art. Japanese illustrator Yoshitaka Amano worked with Bonding. It's a technology company in Taiwan. Besides turning his artworks into 3D format, it also becomes immersive. So viewers can walk into the works and experience fascinating immersive art. Let's see the temple, Chaotian Temple. Temples are one of the most important cultural symbols in Taiwan. Meta and Taika support XR space to build a virtual version of Chaotian Temple in Metaverse. Effectively, we created an interior, courtyard, and street views. Users could experience the making virtual prayer, worship, and other religious activities. And besides these examples, Taika also supports several types of projects related to Metaverse, such as Metaverse platform, cloud XR game, and content streaming, and AI and virtual collaboration. So far, I've shared some entertainment services related to Metaverse in Taiwan. Now, let's welcome Dr. Huang to talk about how to apply AI-generated technology on content creation, please.
Okay, good afternoon. I will spend the next few minutes to talk about technology that's changed a lot how we create content in Metaverse. Now, the technology called generative AI, which is, like you heard from the previous talks, it helps in many industries. But it's also going to help the content industry in terms of how you create the content. Good, so the next, the generative AI, what is generative AI? Generative AI basically creates an AI model which will learn from a large data set and capture the underlying patterns and the structure within the data. Now, traditional AI will use the model and to do prediction, to make judgment, and to help humans to make decisions. Generative AI will go one step further. It actually uses a model to create something called a discriminator, and which is going to examine the data generated by a generator and to check if it's
closely resemble the data they were trained on. Next, please. So the technology has become very popular and has been used by two famous companies. One is called OpenAI, and of course, in the OpenAI, the Microsoft invested more than $13 billion into the company and create a number of tools become very popular. One tool probably we have used in the last few months is called ChatGPT, which what it does is it actually would, kind of conversation you can ask the AI to do for you. Now the other tools is like Del2E. Del2E, basically what it does is it can create the original realistic image and from just a text description. And there are many other tools which they are all become popular. Now the other company actually I like to mention is called Midjourney. What it does is it generated the images from the language description. Okay, and it has only, it was started in February 2022 last year. It's made more than $100 million in less than a few months. Next, please. Okay, so this is actually an example. It's a painting created by Midjourney. And this actually painting won the first prize in a competition. And it generates a lot of controversy. Now, the problem is, can you tell if this painting is done by AI or by human? So these kind of issues will happen a lot in the near future. Next, please. So generative AI also been used to create music, okay, and to generate sounds. Then the left side is all the popular tools. You can go to internet and then you can play with it, and it's also quite interesting. Next, please. So I would like to talk about another technology within this is a generative AI called deepfake. Now, deepfake is a tool which is it has been generated a lot of controversy recently. It can change the face of a person with another person's face in the video very easily. Now, how it is done? Basically, there's a technology called autoencoder. What it does is it will use an encoder to encode a person's image and compress it, and then use a decoder to decode the image and restore the person's face. The problem is if you use the compressed image from person A, and then you use a decoder for person B, and then you mix them together, then you can put the image like the head of person A on the body of person B. And this was also not difficult to do. And there are also lists of companies which are doing the deepfake, and the tools have become very easy to use. Next, please. So this is actually, AI also can can write drama and direct a film. So this was actually the first film directed and written by AI. Okay, and then the name of the film is called The Safe Zone. Again, you can go to YouTube and then you can look at the video. Next, please. So AI can also write books. Now, there are many books already written by AI, and the last one was very interesting. The book was the title of the book is 50 Ways AI Could End the World. It's a very interesting book, and what it does is how AI thinks how it can end the human world. And it's a book also been published. Next, please. So AI can, the other recent news is AI can mimic many famous singers. One example is this song called Heat on My Sleeve. Okay, you probably also heard about the song before. And it was created by AI, and it was actually, it mimics the voice of Drake and The Weeknd. Again, you're interested in go to the link and you can search this video, which has a sound. Now, it generated actually more than 9 million clicks in about a month. Okay, so again, music was created by AI, and it was very interesting music you can listen on. So next, please. And not only in US you can do that, in Taiwan there was a news, there was a singer called Chen Sanni. Again, it was with the help of the AI lab engineers, which is led by one of my colleagues. Actually, the name of the song is called 教我如何做你的爱人. Okay, you can go to the internet and search a song. Okay, it was a song was licensed by Chen Sanni, but he didn't sing the song. Next, please. So basically, music industry we're going to be changed by generative AI in the future. And there already this group called Universal Music Group was trying to ban the AI music from streaming media and such as YouTube and Spotify. But the problem is, how can you tell a music was created by AI or by human? So it will be difficult to do. Next, please. So the AI can create concert too. There's a tool called a concert creator, which actually can analyze audio recording and then turns them into a hyper-realistic piano player and music lessons. So like the lady here, the lady actually was created by AI. So all you need to do is input a song and the lady will play music for you. And not only the lady, there could be a band, for example. So basically all you need to do is input a song and you see the band or a performer play the music for you. And next, please. So in the future, actually, the actor do not need to act. There's a movie. So basically, a movie can use body double and then they act in a movie and then use the defect technology I just introduced to put the actor's head, face, onto the body double. So one recent news, and this probably happened recently, last month also, is Bruce Willis, a famous actor, sending his image to a company called Deepcake Studio to create commercial advertisement. And it was reported that Bruce Willis has something called brain disorder, so he cannot act in a commercial movie. But AI can help the Bruce Willis to do the acting. Next, please. So AI can help the design also. I actually use this Midjourney tool, and I enter that's what I said. I want the image of the chair that is in blue and pink in the style of futuristic spacecraft design. So in about 30 seconds, Midjourney gave me 4 designs, okay? Now, if I'm not happy with these 4 designs, I can ask the Midjourney to regenerate, and then you give me another 4 designs until I find the one I like. Okay, so I don't need to spend too much time in terms of find design on my chair. Next, please. So the question is, will AI threaten artists and writers and musicians? I believe the generative AI is going to change the art world of the industry. It's definitely going to change it. But it will also open more opportunities for artists, writers, and musicians. Remember that when camera was invented, there are many painters lost a job, okay? But there are also painters who can create different kind of painting, and the camera cannot create. So then those painters become very successful. So new artists, because of cameras, there were new artists, and also the photography industry were also created. And same thing for a computer. So when computer was used, so many artists are using computer to help their work. So if anyone knows how to take advantage of generative AI, I believe those artists will become very successful in the future. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Huang, for your insight. And content and industry and technology industry in Taiwan are starting to explore metaverse products and services. They are forming a partnership and finding their role in the process. So we can see, for example, the content creator have initiated an alliance and issue a white paper. And Taipei Computer Association, TCA, has also joined forces with technology companies. These four efforts have advanced metaverse development. Finally, I would like to talk about advantages and opportunities in Taiwan. Taiwan is proud to have cultural diversity and creative freedom. We also have technology experts and complete industry chains. However, technology and content industry have not integrated very well. They are still working in silos. For example, just like Dr. Huang said, to design a singer with AI, we need AI technology, and also we need experts from music labels. So with deeper integration and more investment, industry in Taiwan can take advantage and the opportunities worldwide. So, so furthermore, I would like to say, furthermore, TAICAR is managing 10 billion NT dollars from National Development Fund. And we are more than happy to receive the proposal from you. With both public and private investment, industries should scale up. So in the end, I would like to introduce our annual event in November, Taiwan Creative Content Festival. It includes future content exhibition, trade shows, and pitching sessions. Yeah. So now let's watch a short clip of last year's TCCF, please. Okay, we welcome all of you to cooperate with us. Here is my contact. If you are interested, please let me know. And thank you, COMPUTEX, to inviting me. And thanks everyone online and offline for your time. And we look forward to cooperate with the empowering more collaboration in elevate Taiwan's metaverse ecosystem to the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Zhang, for the inspiring speech. And thanks again for all the speakers of their informative content from our three speakers. And once again, thank you all for participating at the first session about Metaverse of COMPUTEX Forum. Our next session, Chips and Semiconductor Summit, will start at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we will have speakers from ARM, Ampere, Lenovo, Texas Instruments, NXP Supermicro, Solidigm, and ST Microelectronics will join us tomorrow morning. So see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you so much.